If you're spending over $80,000 on a camper van without understanding how couples actually fail in them, you're already making an expensive mistake. Here's what nobody tells you about buying camper vans as a couple in 2026. The vans getting all the hype on YouTube are designed for Instagram, not for actual daily living. I'm going to show you the 5 best options for couples right now, but more importantly, I'm going to explain which features will make you love van life 6 months in, and which ones will have you selling at a loss before year 2, because the difference between a smart buy and an expensive regret comes down to 3 things most people completely ignore. By the way, the smartest couples I know didn't get this right the first time, and that actually saved them tens of thousands. I'll explain that in a minute. Section 1. The expensive lie. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. The Mercedes Sprinter 4x4 with a full build-out? Gorgeous. Everyone wants one. And it's the wrong choice for most couples I talk to. Here's why. You're not just buying a van. You're buying a depreciation curve, a maintenance schedule, and a lifestyle limitation. That $120,000 Sprinter, in many cases, loses $25,000 to $30,000 in value the moment you drive it off the lot. The Ford Transit WAD with the same layout loses about half that. And here's the part nobody expects until it happens to them. When your diesel exhaust sensor fails, because I've seen this happen in rural Montana more times than I can count, you'll find a Ford dealer in 45 minutes, the nearest Mercedes Sprinter service center, often 3 states away. I've watched couples spend 4 days waiting for a tow and a $2,800 repair that would have cost $400 at Ford. I know one couple who bought their dream Sprinter, had 3 breakdowns in 8 months, and traded it for a Transit at a $35,000 loss. That's the hidden cost nobody shows you on Instagram. The real question isn't which van is cooler, it's which van keeps me mobile. And here's a perfect example of what I meant about saving tens of thousands. I talked to a couple last month who almost bought a $95,000 custom Sprinter. Instead, they spent $42,000 on a used ProMaster, lived in it for 9 months, realized they needed more off-road capability, sold it for $39,000, and bought exactly the right Transit. Total cost of their education? $3,000. That's cheaper than one cross-country trip in an RV rental. Section 2. The Smart Baseline. Ram ProMaster. The Ram ProMaster gets zero respect in van life circles, and that's exactly why it's a brilliant buy for couples right now. The 2025-26 models fixed the transmission issues that plagued earlier years. You're looking at $55,000 to $75,000 fully built out by reputable converters like Wayfarer or Benchmark. Front-wheel drive, yes, but here's what matters. The vast majority of couples never leave paved roads. You're not overlanding. You're parking at Whole Foods and occasionally boondocking on BLM land with a maintained fire road. The ProMaster gives you the widest interior of any van in this class. That means you can fit a real bathroom with a cassette toilet that doesn't require you to disassemble your bed every time nature calls. The Mercedes makes you choose, comfortable sleeping or functional bathroom. The ProMaster says, have both. And the kicker, when something breaks, literally any mechanic can fix it. It shares parts with Dodge Caravans. Your maintenance costs over 5 years will typically run $8,000 to $12,000 less than a Sprinter. Who should avoid it? If you're genuinely doing serious off-road travel regularly, yes, get the Transit AWD. But be honest with yourself. Most couples say they will, then they don't. Section 3. The controversial pick. The Ford Transit Connect. Yes, seriously. This is where I lose half of you, and that's fine. The Ford Transit Connect is a van for couples who are smart enough to admit they don't need 200 square feet of living space. It's a Class B minus, if you will. Think of it as a tall station wagon you can stand up in. Here's why this matters in 2026. Stealth and fuel economy just became your 2 biggest assets. Overnight parking is getting harder everywhere. That big white Sprinter, you're getting knocked on. The Transit Connect, you're just another contractor van. Blends in completely. I know 3 couples doing full-time who've never been hassled once in 2 years. And here's what changes the math completely. You're getting 23 to 26 miles per gallon. The Sprinter, around 16 if you're lucky. Over 30,000 miles a year, which is common for full-timers, that's saving you roughly $4,000 annually in fuel. That's a month of free camping every single year. The 2026 models come with factory-installed solar prep and better insulation than previous years. You can get a full conversion with a pop-top sleeping area, compact galley kitchen, and portable toilet setup for $38,000 to $52,000 total. The brutal reality? If you're a couple and one of you's over 6'3", this probably won't work. You need the headroom. But if you fit, you're unlocking a level of freedom and economics that the big vans simply can't match. This isn't about being minimal, it's about being honest. Most people won't buy this because it doesn't look like van life, and that's exactly why it works for van life. Look, I'm not here to tell you what to want. I'm here to show you what actually works for couples 6 months in. Sometimes those are the same thing, sometimes they're not. Section 4. The Goldilocks Winnebago Solus Pocket 36B. If the Transit Connect feels too small and the full Sprinter build-out feels too much, the Winnebago Solus Pocket 36B is your answer for 2026. This is a factory-built Class B on the Ram ProMaster chassis. MSRP around $115,000. But here's the move. Buy it used from 2023 to 2024. Let someone else eat that first-year depreciation. You'll find them for $78,000 to $88,000 with under 10,000 miles. What makes this ideal for couples? The wet bath actually works. I'm serious. Most van bathrooms are theoretical. This one you'll actually use. The kitchen has a 2-burner stove and a sink big enough to wash real dishes. The bed converts without requiring you to disassemble your entire living area. Winnebago has been building RVs for 65 years. Their warranty support is legitimate. When something goes wrong, and in any RV, something eventually will, you're dealing with a company that answers the phone. The 36B model specifically has better thermal insulation than the older Solus models, which matters enormously if you're doing shoulder seasons or winter travel. I've seen couples comfortable in 20-degree weather without running a heater all night. The downside? It looks like an RV. You're not sneaking this into a residential neighborhood overnight, and at 21 feet, you're dealing with RV parking limitations. But you're getting turnkey reliability in a bathroom you'll actually use, which is worth more than most people realize until month 4. Section 5. The Luxury Calculation. Storyteller Overland Mode. Now, if you've got $180,000 to $210,000 and you genuinely prioritize off-road capability and premium finishes, the Storyteller Overland Mode 4x4 is the only van in this price range I would recommend without hesitation. This is a Sprinter 4x4 done right. Storyteller's build quality is legitimately 2 steps above most custom converters. The electrical system is overbuilt, 3,000 watts of lithium and 800 watts of solar standard. The water system uses Truma components that are actually serviceable. The furnace won't fail in the cold. But here's the critical distinction. This is only a good buy if you use what you're paying for. If you're spending $200,000 to park at Cracker Barrel and do national park loops, you're potentially wasting $80,000 on capability you'll never touch. That 4x4 system and lifted suspension is for people doing actual backcountry access. I know 2 couples with the mode who spent 3 months in Baja and 4 months in the Rockies doing legitimate off-grid stuff. For them, worth every penny. They're accessing campsites that would destroy a standard van. But many buyers, they're paying for off-road capability and then taking it to Costco. Be ruthlessly honest. If you're not spending significant time on unmaintained roads, buy the ProMaster or Transit and bank the $100,000 difference. That money funds 2 full years of travel. The insight nobody mentions. Here's the controversial truth that's going to save some of you a fortune, and this is what I meant earlier. Your first van should be your second van. What I mean is this. Most couples have no idea what they actually need until they've lived in a van for 6 months. The couples I know who are happiest, they bought a cheaper used van first, a 2018 Transit with 60,000 miles for $45,000, lived in it for a year, figured out their real needs, then sold it and bought exactly the right van. You lose maybe $5,000 on that test year, but you avoid the $40,000 mistake of building out your dream van only to realize 6 months in that you hate fixed beds, or you never cook, or you desperately need a real shower. The van industry doesn't want you to hear this because they want you buying new and maxed out, but the smartest couples I know treated their first year as paid education. Who should buy what? Let me make this painfully clear. Buy the Ram ProMaster if you're doing mostly paved travel, want maximum interior space, and care about low maintenance costs. You're retired, you're doing long trips, you want comfort over capability. Buy the Transit Connect if you value stealth, fuel economy, and access over space. You're younger, more adventurous, and honest that you don't need a full kitchen. Buy the Solus Pocket Used if you want turnkey reliability and a bathroom that actually functions. You don't want to deal with custom builds or van life learning curves. Buy the Storyteller mode only if you have the budget and the itinerary that justifies it. Anything less is ego, not intelligence. And skip the base Sprinter entirely. Unless you're doing a custom build with a converter you deeply trust, you're often paying a premium for a van that, for most buyers, ends up being a worse value proposition than a Transit. The best camper van for couples in 2026 isn't the one with the most Instagram likes. It's the one that matches your actual travel style, maintenance tolerance, and honest usage pattern.
Most people buy the van they wish they were. Smart people buy the van they actually are. One choice funds freedom. The other funds regret. Decide which one you're making, and tell me in the comments, which van were you planning to buy before watching this video? Because I guarantee at least half of you just changed your mind.